Happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving morning. I told Jack, just meet me in the office. Meet me there for 40 minutes at 8 a.m. He decided to do it, so I'm putting out a video here on Thanksgiving morning. We're going to take some of your questions, but I'm going to give you a lot of insight. And we've got our score predictions. We're going to predict the score of the Michigan-Ohio State game, my score prediction, Jack's score prediction. We had questions from great viewers like Jacob coming from our Facebook page, but I need you guys to get down there in the likes. We've done this every single week for 5 straight seasons. It's worked 97% of the time. A couple times it hasn't worked. Last year a little bit. Once, twice this year. Actually, just once this year, right? We didn't do it Oklahoma week. We took that loss. That was our loss. So only one time this year. It didn't work. If you'd like Michigan to beat Ohio State again, Bosa, 5 straight. Like today's video, it costs you nothing. It puts the vibes out. And you're going to be so happy come Saturday. We've got an awesome show here for you on Thanksgiving. Let's get it rolling right now. Let's take some questions. We put out a mailbag call on Monday and had so many great ones that we decided to put 2 different audience mailbag questions out on the channel this week. 2 videos yesterday and Wednesday, 1 here. We have another one for you tomorrow morning on Friday. And hell, Jack, I actually think I might whip out the laptop from home and give you the instant intel that I have late Friday night. So you might get 7 videos for us Monday through Friday on a holiday week. Let's go back to Jacob's question, though. He says, I'm starting to see shades of 2021 where snow is in the forecast. Ohio has great wide receivers and a great, redshirt freshman QB, right? Remember, Coldred Stroud, a redshirt freshman tearing it up, Heisman, co-front runner, whatever it was. And Michigan has a running back emerge from nowhere. In 2021 was Down Edwards. This year's Brian. I keep saying his name wrong, Jack. I got to get it right. But what do you think? Now, before I talk more about this, I don't remember Down Edwards actually really being the breakout guy in 2021. I mean, he was there. He was around. He had a few runs, but he really broke out in 2022 at Penn State and then had the huge game against Ohio State. But maybe I'm misremembering it a little bit. Michigan has Justice Haynes, who won't play in this game. Jordan Marshall, we are expecting to play. But this young man started the year as the 4th running back in the depth chart. Injury to Micah Capana, then injury to the Justice Haynes and to Jordan Marshall has put Bryson Kuzdzal in the spotlight for Michigan football fans. 20 carries, 100 yards, 5 yards per carry, and 3 touchdowns in his first start last week against Maryland. Now, Jack, you might be surprised to know this, given that you're a little bit younger than me, a decade and a half or so. But did you know that until last week's game, this is the first time this season that Michigan has had 4 players with 100 yards rushing in a game, right? You got 3 running backs plus Bryce Underwood since 1998. Ironically, the year after Michigan's national title in the 90s. This is 2 years after the national title in the 2020s. It's feel like 2021 to me, right? Just think of the coincidences. Think of the similarities to what is happening. You got a redshirt freshman quarterback for Ohio State who's just putting up gargantuan numbers, but he's from California, just like Coldred Stroud was from California. Never played in the cold. You got the cold weather. They're saying you might see snow. Well, I checked the weather forecast a few years ago, right? It was you might see snow on Thursday, on Thanksgiving. Before this game on Saturday, you saw a ton of snow. You got the wide receiver core. Oh, the best wide receiver group in America. Back then, you know who they had. This year, they've got Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate. Will they play? Won't they play? And Michigan has the ground raid offense. Now, the only thing Michigan's missing is maybe the presence of David Ojabo and Hutchinson there on the defensive ends to make life miserable for Coldred Stroud. But we will see how things shake out. I'm excited about this game. It is feeling like 2021 to me. It is feeling like this Michigan team, you didn't know what to expect from early. They had a few great games where you're like, oh, wow, this team's something. A few games like, I don't know, like Nebraska in 2021, like Michigan State or Northwestern, Purdue this year. And it all starts coming together. You lead up to this one, and Michigan gets the win against Ohio State. I think that's how it's going to shake out. But we, of course, will see how it does. All right, let's keep it rolling. Shuggles D. He says, how can the weather affect this game and home field advantage? Well, look, if you got a team that's going to pass the ball 40 times, 35 times, 48 times, 49 times, like C.J. Stroud did in 21, 22, or 30+ like Ohio State has the last couple of years, it's going to affect you, right? Snow brings wetness. Wetness makes the ball harder to throw. And it makes the wind usually is accompanied by that. So I think that's the simplest thing, right? It's easier to run the ball, offensive line, impose the will. These guys are getting hands. They're cold. They're getting frostbite. Michigan can impose the will, run the ball a little more. I mean, I dare you. If you were in a cold weather town, a cold weather area right now on Saturday, whenever it is, go outside and throw the football a little bit. Show me how tough it is to do versus, okay, put the ball. I'm just going to run it from here to the end of the block and see which one is easier, that or throwing the ball compared to normal perfect temperatures. Now, if you go into the game, you have got to bring the energy. Now, what I expect is that Michigan's going to have a stadium full of maize pom-poms. What I expect is a ruckus crowd, the likes of which we haven't seen since the 2023 version of this game or the 2021 version of this game. Go batshit crazy if you were going to this game. I counted it. I'm not going to this one. Got a reason why. Didn't go in 2021 for family, personal reasons. They won. I'm letting that ride, so I'm not going to this one, although I could. But I'm excited. I think Michigan's going to get the win. I think that's going to jump them up into the top 12 for the playoff. They're going to make the college football playoff. And with the way they can play, the talent they have, anything is possible. But who we got here next? Ed, my guy Ed. Appreciate the question. Ed coming from Twitter. He says, does Michigan pull the upset? Similar question from the DJBC Happy Hour. Nice name. From our Facebook page, facebook.com/HarbaughGoBlue. Facebook will not let us change the damn URL. So it's going to remain Harbaugh Go Blue, I guess, forever, for whatever reason. But I believe they will. I think they're going to win this game. And now is the time that we are going to give our score predictions. But I want to know from you guys. Let's get down the score predictions. Down the comments, I should say. Give me your score prediction. Type Michigan, type Ohio State after it. If you're typing Ohio State, you're either just a super pessimist Michigan fan or you are actually an Ohio State fan, in which I wish you a very unhappy Thanksgiving. Now, my score predictions. I've analyzed this one. I've watched every single throw from Julian Sain this year. I've watched every snap of every Michigan football play this year. I've looked at the stats. I've looked at the trends. I've looked at the analytics. And I feel very confidently in my score prediction. You're going to say, James, you're crazy. 42-27 Michigan. Shades of 2021. It's feeling like 2021. We're going to get that same score once again. 42-27. Ohio State's giving up 8 points a game. Michigan's going to times 5 on that ass. 5 times their average game points given up. 42-27 Michigan. Over to you, Jack.
I am rocking 30-24 Michigan.
Same as 2023.
Same as 2023. I like where this Michigan team's at. I love the weather. I think Michigan has the clear weather advantage here. 30 degrees, 60% chance of snow. They're cooking with gas.
Have you seen Julian Sain's haircut? You know what his haircut looks like?
What does it look like?
He's got that part down the middle, like the floppy hair over the side.
Total.
Have you ever seen a guy with that haircut do anything in the snow or the sleet or the cold weather other than smoke a joint and ride a snowboard? Have you ever seen anyone do that before?
No.
There you have it.
No, and also, like, if Carnell Tate doesn't play, which we talked about it in a video that went out a few days ago, 50-50 at this point, at the time this video is coming out, maybe that's changed. But, I mean, getting hit in a football game in the cold hurts. So, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, they take one hit.
That leg starts hurting a little more. Those fingers start feeling a little colder. You want to go over and do get warm, right?
Yeah. I like their bend, don't break on defense. I like their run game a lot. Obviously, Kuzdzal came out and showed us I can run the ball too. Michigan's just a running back factory at this point. 30-24 Michigan. I think they win. I think they head to the college football playoff, and we win the Natty again.
Win the Natty again. That's what I like to hear. Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan once again. I mean, what a career that would be for Bryce Underwood to get started and go win a national championship as a true freshman. It's happened twice in college football history. I think it was 1984, 85. Oklahoma did it with an injury. Freshman came in, and then Clemson did it, brought in Trevor Lawrence in Game 5 as the starter, and they went on to win the national title in 2018. Predict the score. Put the team. I want to see who knows this score, this team, this rivalry the best. Predict your score down in the comment. Sean Isham, he says, When will the state team from Columbus, aka Ohio State, aka Columbus State, finally break 100 points that was promised to be hung on us 4 years ago? Bosa. Now, he does it right. He put a 5 there instead of an S. 5 straight. Go Blue. Let me answer that question in a moment, but I do want to remind you guys that we are in this week-long subscriber battle. This real snarky, smart aleck, Billy Beebe, who hosts that channel right there. Sorry. Ohio State Football Report. He challenged us. He said, we're going to beat you on subscribers. We're going to beat you on YouTube. We're going to beat you in the field. I said, there's no chance. And so, but they're doing it, right? We got 1.5 days left. They're 12 subscribers ahead of us, 251 to 239. So I need you guys to subscribe to the channel. Again, liking the video. It costs you nothing. If you don't like it, unsubscribe next week. But don't do it because you don't, you're just lazy. Just hit the button, subscribe. If you come back in a week or two and you're like, oh, I have this stupid channel with Yoder, unsubscribe. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. Help us win this one because I believe in vibes. I believe in karma. This is karma for you, for me, for Jack, for Michigan, for Ohio State. If they get the good karma, they are going to win the game, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want people to blame this channel because we've taken the credit. We'll also take the blame if it is what goes down. But Sean says, when will that team from Ohio State, the Columbus State School, finally break 100? It's so funny, Jack. Now, you were still in college at the time, Jack. You weren't working here. We had never met each other. But the rumor has it that there was a Zoom call in early fall of 2020 with all the Big Ten coaches about returning from COVID and yada, yada, yada protocols. And there were rumors that Ohio State had been holding informal practices, even though they were not allowed to, with players and coaches observing, yada, yada, yada. So basically practice, but coaches were they're kind of like hiding back there so nobody sees them. Okay. And Jim Harbaugh brought it up on the call. And reportedly, Ryan Day said something along the lines like, hey, Jim, why don't you worry about your team, and I'm going to worry about my team. And then, as the rumor continues to go, he was in a staff meeting with some of the players afterwards, and it was like, you won't believe, somebody ratted us out to Harbaugh. He brought up these practices we're doing, these illegal practices on the Big Ten call, and I told him to worry about his own team. You know what? Let's go out and hang 100 on these son of a bitches, all right? So he kind of told his team, we're going to hang 100 on Michigan. We're going to drop 100 points in the rivalry, in the game. Now, the game didn't happen because, Michigan players could have died. There was COVID. It was an outbreak, Jack. It was terrible. But they played the next year, and Michigan won. And the year after that, and Michigan won. And the year after that, and Michigan won. And the year after that, and Michigan won. And this year, and Michigan's going to win. So all in, and I'm not a math magician, but boop, 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 boop. What I got? 84 points, right? 84 points since Ryan Day was going to hang 100 in the 5.5. It was like August of 2020. It's been 5 years, 3 months. He still hasn't even hit 90. That he was going to do it in one single game. What a schmuck. What a bum. I don't like Ryan Day. I don't like his brother and all the cheating he did. I don't like his dyed beard. I don't like the way he speaks. I don't like the sound of his voice. Frankly, if you read some of these books that come out about Ohio State's season last year, the national championship run, he wanted to quit. So if you're an Ohio State fan watching, why would you want even that guy as your coach? He's successful. He beats up on the little guys, can never beat the big guy in Michigan, but he didn't want to be your coach, right? If it wasn't for the, lucky run they had in the playoff last year, he was either going to quit or asked to be let out of his contract so he can go coach somebody else. That's Ryan Day. That's the guy who's your coach. That's the guy who you think is the epitome of the Ohio State program. I think he's going to go and get his 5th straight loss since that very snarky, smart-alecky, hubris comment he made in August or so of 2020. Now, saw us on Twitter yesterday, or maybe Wednesday. Tuesday actually. How many Michigan versus Ohio State games have you been to, right? I've been to 14 Michigan Ohio State games. 13 of those have been at the Big House at Michigan Stadium. Not the last 2, not the one coming up on Saturday, but from basically, let's just call it, I went to one in the 80s, then the mid 90s through 2019, and then I went to the 2018 Michigan-Ohio State game in Columbus, where Michigan was favored, where Michigan was supposed to win and go to the playoff, but they got their asses absolutely kicked, 62-39 in Urban Meyer's last regular season game as a college football head coach. How many of you have been to? If you want to list them out, if it's only been a few, you want to list them out, what the scores were. Now, I have a great record in those, Jack. 14 games. I am 5-9 in those 14 games. So not the best record, but luckily I have a better record watching them, at least the home games lately. At least all games, 4 straight, since I've stopped going to them in person. Next question coming up from Donald. He says, here's a question. When are we going to get rid of Bellamy and hire a coach that actually attracts some good wide receivers? Well, I mean, the proof's going to be in the pudding with Ron Bellamy in this game in a lot of ways. That is Andrew Marsh's ascent, 641 yards, almost all of those in the last 7 weeks. Is his ascent as a wide receiver going to be just because he's playing worse competition, or is because he's got better coaching? Now, I'm not going to say I was wrong, but Grant Newsome is Michigan's offensive line coach. I have been very critical of him for 2 straight seasons. And what I've seen out of that group for the last 4 or 5 weeks has been some massive improvement, has been impressive, has been good enough where I think they can overpower a very, very good Ohio State defensive line this week. So could Bellamy be doing the same thing? Could, he not have had his guys or whatever it is? And Andrew Marsh is the first one. This wide receiver group is as devoid of talent as I've ever seen it the last 2 seasons. But Andrew Marsh is the outlier. You got a few guys coming in next year. You've got an opportunity in the transfer portal. Ryan Wingo, Texas. And I don't know. I'm not sure if Sherrone's going to bring him around. We'll see. I don't think it's going to hurt recruiting. I don't think anyone's going to leave the program. Sign days in 2.5 weeks or so. So I don't think it's going to affect this year's recruiting class. But it's all about Sherrone Moore and his loyalty. Does he think that the job is getting done? Is he willing to put his future as Michigan's head coach on the line with Ron Bellamy, coaching one of the key positions for this team? All right, Jack, what do we have next here on the Michigan Football Report? There it is. Got some pre-Black Friday sales for you guys. Black Friday is tomorrow. There's a lot of sales out there. Do not pay full price. We found them for you. It's the same 2 items. They must be doing an all-week sale for us. It's the Michigan Maize Jordan Brand T-shirt, formerly $28 or formerly $40, now $28. chatsports.com/maize-t, and the Dusty May Special. All right, the Michigan Q-Zip Maize Q-Zip. I love it. I bought it. Normally $90, only $38. chatsports.com/mishqzip. Both links second paragraph of the description below of today's video. Get them now. Don't overpay. Pretend to a friend, hey, I bet $90 on you, but you really paid $38. chatsports.com/mishqzip. Tom Brody coming in with the question, Yoder, give me your summary of how Michigan wins this game. Bosa. All right. Let's think about it for a second. I gave you my keys to victory on Tuesday, I believe it was. And I'm not sure if anything's changed for what I think can happen. The number one thing that makes me believe that Michigan is going to win this game is not on the field. It's not the passing accuracy. It's not the arm of Bryce Underwood, the arm of Julian Sain, the hitting ability. It's all up here. Ryan Day psychologically cannot beat Michigan. Sherrone Moore, he's got to be like a guy who survives 2 plane crashes, right? He was a coach in 2023, interim for Jim Harbaugh. Last year when Michigan was 20-point underdogs, he won both of them. He's got to be on top of the world. Like, there's no way Ohio State can beat me, and he's going to coach like that. He knows the greater college football world is not expecting it, so he feels comfortable calling a play he wouldn't normally call, maybe a game against Michigan State or Penn State where, oh my gosh, it doesn't work, we're going to lose, everyone's going to hate me. If you lose this game, I don't think it's going to hurt Sherrone Moore's coaching prospects as the leader of this program. So he's going to take risks, right? Ryan Day can't take risks. You're going to see in this game, they're going to have the ball. It's going to be 4th and 1.5, 4th and 2 at the 47-yard line. And what's he going to do? He's going to send the punt team out there. He's going to send the punt team out because he knows we make a mistake here, Michigan get the ball, they're going to go and score. I can't do it. I can't help it. Mommy, help me. Help me. I can't deal with the pressure of being the coach of Ohio State against Michigan. So it's all up here. Second thing is that Ryan Day has convinced himself that he needs to do this or do that. There's only one way to win the game, right? There's no reason they should have a run-first offense last year in the first half and then tried to pass in the second half when Michigan knew what was coming. So it's all up here. Michigan's game plan on offense matches the weather conditions there will be. And you've done it before. Jack, let me ask you this question. You're going to come back on camera for a second. I think it would be appropriate. Let me ask this question. When you were in college, before you started working at Chat Sports, did you have anybody in your work or school, community that you talked to that was like an expert on YouTube that you could go to? Did you have anybody there?
Not particularly.
Not particularly. But he came here at Chat Sports. Did you feel comfortable? You knew what you were doing?
I mean, after I learned, yeah.
There you go. So did you think that from a conference perspective, from a teammate's perspective, where you're talking about former coworkers, classmates on projects, whoever people, Arizona State, where you felt comfortable more in what you're doing here than there, I assume, right? For what you're doing, let's just call it on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So let's just translate this to football. Do you think Ohio State players, Jeremiah Smith, Julian Sand, Caleb Downs, etc., do you think they're more confident and comfortable that we can go beat this team on Saturday? Or do you think it's the guys who you look around the room and say, like, I got expert in beating Ohio State, expert beating Ohio State, expert beating Ohio State, expert beating Ohio State. Every guy in the room, that any new player, any existing player, he looks around the room, all he sees is guys who beat Ohio State twice, 3 times, 4 times, 3 times, 1 time, 2 times, 4 times. Ohio State, no time, no time, no time, no time, no time, no time. The mentality is there for Michigan. The mentality is not there for Ohio State. That's what I think it's going to come down to. I think these guys don't believe they can beat Michigan, frankly.
Well, I think, and you see that in all sports. Like I talk about this in baseball all the time. Like when you're trying to build your roster, you want to bring in veterans that have experience in the playoffs or have experience in these big moments.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State doesn't have any of those guys. Obviously Ryan Day doesn't have the sauce. So, yeah, I mean, I think Michigan is psychologically much better off than Ohio State is.
Yeah, they absolutely are. So they're going to head up to Ann Arbor tomorrow morning. They're going to have some buses drive up there from Columbus. I hope they eat a lot of food today. I hope they're filling their belly and they're enjoying their Thanksgiving, because this will be a terrible 2 days after Thanksgiving for the Ohio State Buckeyes. If you guys yet to do so, follow our Instagram account. It is at Michigan Football Report. Jackson helped me out. That has been doing a great job posting a bunch of highlights, clips, etc. Go follow it over there at Michigan Football Report on Instagram. And before you go, please comment Bosa once, maybe twice, maybe 5 times to get 5 straight wins over Ohio State. We'll have one more video for you tomorrow, early, mid, late morning. Maybe if we're feeling spicy and there's something to talk about, we'll put out one on Friday night as well. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Go Blue.